The future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, and comics, as well as video games, but also their TV shows and their new Star Wars trilogy of films that is really going to reshape Star Wars as we know it. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney CEO Bob Chapek is that he is really developing a new series of Star Wars projects, not just for Disney Plus, but also for theatrical releases out there that are going to be the highlight of this decade of the 2020s. Basically, Chapek has a plan in place in order to make Star Wars just as big as the MCU. And I don't know about you guys, but that is a tough challenge, let me tell you, because I think that the MCU was so successful for what it was, and still is, because of how Jon Favreau really lifted the first Iron Man film. And given the fact that now Jon Favreau is involved with the Star Wars universe, it really does give the fans hope on exactly what this new Star Wars universe is really going to be like, and how it's going to really compare to what we got from the sequel trilogy. Now, with that being said, the new Star Wars trilogy, also known as the fourth Star Wars trilogy, is Disney's main priority right now. But apart from the Disney Plus TV shows, of course, such as The Mandalorian Season 2, Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, Mace Windu, etc., you name it. Now, the thing that really does stand out to me the most here is that, of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga, they are primarily focused on their new Star Wars trilogy, also known as the fourth Star Wars trilogy, where it's explained that Disney and Lucasfilm are currently developing the first film of the new trilogy, dubbed as Star Wars X, that is said to be based around a brand new mythology for the brand. Now, it's noted that Lucasfilm is implementing the concept of Dark Jedi to appear in the new Star Wars film that will combat against regular Jedi in a new era for the Star Wars franchise that will take place within the unknown regions. Now, it's said that these Dark Jedi are going to be a side enemy as well as the Yuzong Vong in the new trilogy of films, and that Kevin Feige is still working hard to getting Keanu Reeves on board for the new Star Wars universe, as well as Jennifer Connelly and others. Additionally, it's noted that the Worlds Between Worlds will play a massive role with the elements of time travel in the new Star Wars movie, and that Lucasfilm is going to also introduce a new power for the Jedi called flow walking that will allow them to learn from the past. Not just that, but also Lucasfilm is developing an entire secret star system that will serve as the origin of the ancient Jedi, and that a part of the story at some point in the new trilogy will cover the first Jedi and the creation of the first lightsaber in existence before it was made standard to the Jedi. George Lucas is said to also have control over the power of the realm of Mortis in the new story and how exactly it's going to be told in these new Star Wars movies. So let's go over this, because the new Star Wars trilogy is something that I personally am very excited about, given that the first film, dubbed as Star Wars X, is all set and ready to release in 2022. It really isn't all that far if you think about it. I mean, we're already approaching, the midway point of 2020, and they're going to begin filming the first movie in 2021. So it'll be here before you know it, trust me. So when we look at this new trilogy, the thing about this that really does stand out to me the most is the fact that they are trying their absolute best in order to incorporate the Worlds Between Worlds in the fourth trilogy of movies. Now, a lot of fans out there are kind of on and off about time travel being a part of Star Wars. In my opinion, it worked in Star Wars Rebels as an animated TV series, sure. Dave Filoni was the man who actually made that possible, and Dave Filoni knows his stuff. He loves his Star Wars legends, he loves developing new Star Wars lore that's out of this world, and let me tell you, when Star Wars, Rebels was really at its peak, when the Worlds Between Worlds episode aired, a lot of fans were very, I guess you could say, confused as to exactly what you could really call that. Is it time travel? Is it just dimensions? What's going on here, right? So, in a sense, yes, it is time travel, and that's what they want to introduce in the new Star Wars universe with this new trilogy. Now, not just that, though. They want to also explore the history of the first Jedi and the creation of the first lightsaber in existence in the entire Star Wars galaxy. So this was also somewhat implemented by J.J. Abrams in the art book of The Force Awakens. I don't know if you guys saw it, but in there, it does indeed go over the first lightsaber. It's literally just like a stick with a kyber crystal wrapped around it. Very primitive looking, and it was just the idea of what a lightsaber would be like to the actual ancient Jedi. Now, this to me obviously is an interesting side of the story. I love Star Wars lore and the mythology of the Jedi, the Sith, dark side warriors, and how they're going to be introducing new dark Jedi and the Yuzong Vong. It's going to be quite an interesting ride to see exactly, what it's really going to shape itself out to be once it comes on the big screen, and how it's all going to be executed by Disney and Lucasfilm. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.